Another cheeky package. So this has come at a pretty good time because I have noticed over the last couple of weeks my training has not been amazing, and there's probably a couple of reasons for that. First of all, I haven't had any creatine, I haven't had any electrolytes, and I haven't had any pre-workout, and those are some things that I do sometimes rely quite a bit on to feel my best in the gym. But also the fact that I am losing weight, and it's been 2 or 3 weeks now since I started dieting, and I am down to 114.5 kilos. So I started at 117. Obviously the first couple of weeks you're going to lose a little bit of that water weight, and that's kind of leveling out a little bit now. So I'm around about 114.5. The lowest I have been is 113.5, but I have gone up a little bit just because it does fluctuate, and I'm trying to weigh myself every day to get that average. So it is maybe having a bit of a psychological impact in the gym. I can't imagine I'm going to be losing that much strength, but I think just with a combination of not having some of the supplements that I've been used to as well is playing into that. So what I've got is some Hydrate electrolyte blend here from Awesome Supplements. I've got some MVP Pre. I tried this at the powerlifting meet that I competed at a few weeks ago. My mate Nick very kindly let me borrow some, well not borrow some, give me some, and I actually thought it was really good, so I decided that I'd actually get my own. And then I've got some Perform protein, so this is my favourite brand of protein. This is the sweet and salty popcorn flavour, which I have tried before and it is really good, and I haven't had any protein powder for a little while as well. So I have found that dieting, obviously it's important to have a lot of protein in your diet where all the other macronutrients are going to be slightly lower, and I have found it hard to get my protein in when I haven't got the supplementation as well. So this is going to be really helpful for that as well. But on the topic of wasting away and feeling really weak, it's probably about time I got some lunch. So I am training today, and normally my pre-workout meal is my biggest meal of the day where I get the most calories in, but I didn't expect it to be this many calories because I've just calculated it and it's 1,600 calories. So I've basically got ravioli, chicken thighs and some pesto, and that's come to a massive 1,600. So it just goes to show sometimes it is beneficial tracking your calories, because sometimes you can think just a simple plate of food can just be X amount of calories, 800 calories, 900 calories, when actually it's close to double that. So yeah, it's worth knowing. It means that I've got about 1,200 left for the rest of the day, so I just need to be careful for my evening meal. But I am getting pretty good at tracking my calories now in terms of knowing what calories I have on specific days. So on my training days I'm aiming for 3,000 calories, and then my non-training days I'm having 2,750, and that seems to be working quite well doing that, because obviously I'm going to be burning the extra calories in the gym, and that does mean that I'm losing roughly half a kilo a week at the moment. So I'm going to stick with that. Obviously the more I do it, the more data I'm going to sort of gather doing it, and then I can tweak it accordingly after that. This is quite a lot of pesto actually, 100 grams of pesto. That's probably why it's so calorific. So there isn't actually a scooper in the hydration supplement, so I actually don't know how to measure this, so I'm just going to go with a classic spoon. That seems a bit weird. Little taste test. Doesn't really taste of anything.
Well, I like the colour.
It's not overpowering, which is a good thing. But as long as it hydrates me, that's what I really care about. Now that I've given the palate a chance to get that aftertaste a little bit, I actually quite like it. It's very refreshing. Sometimes supplements can be very artificial and quite strong, but
is actually quite nice. You can tell it's watermelon, but it's quite refreshing, which I guess a hydration electrolyte blend maybe should be. I'll give that 15 minutes or so to settle in my stomach, and then I'll try the MVP Pre, and then we'll get into the gym, and we're going to be doing some deadlifts today. Got 225 kilos to do for 4, so I'm starting to increase the volume on deadlifts, going back to 4s. I think by the end of the block I want to be getting around 240 for 4, and then we're just going to increase that to the point where we're going to be hitting some PBs on our 4s, and then we'll work down, peaking up towards some heavy triples, doubles and singles in the future. But we're a long way away from doing any sort of competing, so I'm just trying to build up a bit of volume. So yeah, I'll check back with you in 15 minutes or so to try out the MVP Pre. Right, we've got the MVP Pre Rocket Pop. Let's give it a little taste test. That is very good. When I open the tub, it's got that classic pre-workout smell. Just, it smells like it really shouldn't be good for you. And to be honest with you, it probably isn't good for you, but it tastes good, and hopefully it's going to help my performance in the gym today. Let's go and deadlift. Alright, top set, 225 kilo for 4. Feeling pretty good. Definitely since I've had the supplementation of some electrolytes as a pre-workout, definitely feeling a lot more energetic today. Right, that's deadlifts done, 225 kilos for 4. It's pretty routine. It's really hard to gauge my strength at the moment because obviously I'm doing a lot higher rep ranges, lower intensity, so I don't really know how that compares, obviously, compared to when I'm peaking for a competition, let's say. So it's hard to say if I've categorically lost strength, but yeah, I definitely feel a tiny bit weaker, but I'm also remembering that this week I've had a pretty stressful week. I've had an exam, a new module starting with uni, so there's all these confounding factors which is kind of playing its part for today. So hopefully it's just a bit of a psychological thing this week, but I definitely feel better than I did last week with deadlifts, and I do think adding in some of those supplements that I've had now after having a few weeks off has definitely helped, and hopefully I'll start sort of regaining that strength as I sort of peak towards the end of the block. Normally the first couple of weeks of a new block is a kind of settling in period for me, and it takes me a little while to adapt to what I'm doing. So hopefully by week 4, where I'm going to be doing 240 for 4, I'll be sort of at my peak then, and I'll really start getting into this higher volume training.
Bum, ba-da-dum. All right, ba, da-da-da-da. What was the Kendrick Lamar song? No, it's not him.
Do you want to do that behind me here?
Is that?
They're not like us. They're not like us.
A minor.
That's Lois's impression of Kendrick Lamar, everybody.
It is him, isn't it?
It's like he's in the room. So another week of training concluded. I'm enjoying the higher rep stuff at the moment. I mean, it's not exactly bodybuilding, it's still powerlifting training, and it's only an extra couple of reps per set. But it's a nice change of pace anyway, with everything being a little bit lighter, as I said yesterday. And it is testing my conditioning a little bit, which is going to help with the dieting as well, I think there's going to be extra calories being burnt. But just because I'm dieting doesn't mean that I'm completely restricting myself. I'm still pretty much eating what I want to eat. So much so that me and Lois went out to Nando's today, just being a little bit more conscious about what we're ordering and what we're eating and just keeping track of the calories and that sort of thing.
It was a very sad time.
It wasn't.
Still hungry.
I'm still a little bit hungry as well, but to be fair, I did save quite a lot of calories, so I did have a fairly big meal, but Lois only had like...
I had a grilled chicken wrap, corn on the cob, and the rainbow slaw.
Yeah, you only had like, what, 700 calories left for the evening?
No, I had less than that.
You had like 600 and something calories
It was
left.
my croque monsieur that I had for lunch,
Yeah,
which was blimmin' delicious, if I must say.
so for lunch, Lois went for the croque monsieur, which obviously is very calorific, but it meant that she was
but it's
pretty
so
much
good.
left with not much for this evening. But no, it was nice to have a little bit of a treat today, just because when you are dieting it can get a little bit boring and a bit monotonous, and you can feel like you're wasting away, and it can have a little bit of a psychological impact, even though I pretty much look exactly the same, and I'm pretty sure my strength hasn't been affected in the gym, and I'm pretty sure it is just a psychological thing, which is a little bit worrying, seeing as it is only sort of 3 weeks in, and I'm already starting to feel like this is definitely going to feel a lot worse in a couple of months' time when I have dropped a little bit more weight. But feeling good overall, and that's the most important thing. I'm going to try and do these updates every few weeks just with the dieting and everything. But as for now, I'm going to sign out the video, and I'll see you in the next one. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a like as always, and yeah, I'll see you then. Take care. Peace.
Peace, bye-bye.
Peace. Goodbye.
Peace.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.